the leadership crisis within the People's Democratic Party, where Nigeria's opposition, People's Democratic Party, has dismissed reports making the rounds that its treasurer, Yayari Mohammed, has been appointed to replace its suspended national chairman, Umar Damagun. Now, we also told you that the party's newly appointed acting national publicity secretary made this known to newsmen at the party's national secretariat in Abuja, saying that only the National Working Committee of the party can make such pronouncements. Now, joining us on the news at this time to discuss this further is Jide Ojo. He joins us virtually. He's a political analyst. Thank you so much for your time, Jide Ojo.
My pleasure, Dapper. Good evening.
Good evening. Now, let's get straight to it. I mean, interesting times within the People's Democratic Party. I mean, just today, even across social media, the likes of Dino Melaye seem to, be vocal about the exit of Umar Damagun, as the party's chairman. I'd like your take on what is going on within the PDP.
It leaves a sore taste in the mouth that a party that governed Nigeria for 16 years will be immersed in this kind of leadership crisis. Since it left power in 2015, PDP has been a shadow of itself. And I should say, if care is not taken by 2027, if they continue along this trajectory, it will be the carcass of PDP that will be left to contest in 2027. So going by the genesis of what happened, recall that it was Dr. Iyochaayu that saw the party through the last general election last year. And when they lost, they heaped all the blame on Iyochaayu and eased him out, got his word in Benue State to suspend him, and through the instrumentality of the court, they eventually edged him out. And they asked Umar Damagun, the vice president, not to act in his stead. And more than a year after, they have not had a convention. And it is the convention they will have replaced all the other officers of the party that have left. But unfortunately, 3 months ago, or about May, June, when they had the NEC meeting, they asked Damagun to continue in that capacity as acting chairman, pending when they will conclude all the party congresses from wards to local government to state. And in many states, they've done that. In fact, they have even set up a reconciliation committee, only for us to hear yesterday that there is now suspension of Damagun and Senator Aya, who is his national secretary. And the faction loyal to Damagun has also suspended the national legal advisor and the national publicity secretary. But I want you to note that these are just chess. In the chessboard of PDP, they are actually not the dramatic personnel. Those who are drumming disaffection in PDP are not even the people who we are mentioning, because obviously the National Working Committee is divided. I don't want to mention names, but we know, if you've been very attentive, you know that there is one camp of the former presidential candidate and there is another camp of a former governor of a state. And that is what is playing out. And today,
talking about that, we've also seen cases where some members have been accused of anti-party activities, particularly in the area of working against the party in support of even the ruling party. So, I mean, looking at all of this play out, and maybe for some, seeing this as some sort of house cleaning, how effective will this go?
Unfortunately, it will be very difficult to edge out those people that have been accused of anti-party. I recall, Nyesom Wike has been accused of anti-party, and he has gone to court to obtain an injunction that he should not be suspended, he should not be sacked, he should not be dismissed from the party. And which is what Damagun has also done today with the judgment from Justice Peter Lifu, who has given him an injunction that he should not be removed, he should not be sacked until his 4-year term ends in 2025, December 2025. And so they are now having the courts coming to their aid. And unless you want to go against the ruling of the courts, that's when you continue along the trajectory that you have suspended. You could see that a new national publicity secretary has been appointed, and is now the one communicating to the press. So I think it's just the BOT has come out to say, let everybody sheathe their sword, let them be, while they resolve the issue. But like I said, the dramatic personnel are actually not the one being mentioned. It's a proxy war. There is a faction loyal to a former governor that wants Damagun to stay for their own selfish interest. And there's a faction belonging to the former presidential candidate who also want Damagun to go. And you could see that this is also linked to the developments in Rivers State, where some 27 lawmakers have defected to the APC. And the position that Damagun took and the position that other NWC member took is also part of the whole issue that they have currently, which they need to resolve. But I hope the BOT, Board of Trustees, will be able to mediate in this whole crisis, because this will be to the advantage of APC. If they don't do proper house cleaning and sheathe their sword and resolve their issue amicably, they will just find out that many of their governors, many of their senators, House of Reps members, State Assembly members will just empty themselves into the APC. And that's why I expressed my earlier fear that if care is not taken, it is the carcass of APC, the carcass of PDP that will be alive to contest 2027 general elections. Because obviously, the crisis have lingered for about 9 years now. Since they lost power in 2015, they have not known peace. Recall that after they lost power in 2015, they brought in Senator Alimodu Sheriff of former governor of Borno State, and then they want him out. He didn't want to go. They appointed the former governor of Kaduna State, Mekafi, to head the transition committee, and the whole thing became messy that it ended up at the Supreme Court. Before eventually they were able to edge out SARS, that's Senator Alimodu Sheriff. So now they seem to have patched things up in the lead up to 2023 election by bringing in Dr. Yayari Ojo, but obviously because of self-interest and not obeying their own constitution in terms of ensuring that the party, the presidential candidate and the party chairman does not come from the same geopolitical zone. That's part of what is plaguing the PDP. Very unfortunate, but I hope they are able to mediate and resolve their issue without much litigation.
Thank you so much for your time on the news. We deeply appreciate your insight.
My pleasure. Always a pleasure.
All right.